Hi guys, I missed you all. It is good to be back. If you forgot about me, I'm Savannah, your host, and this is Urban Influencer Radio. For this week's show, I'll be chatting with pop singer Ari, rapper Cipherella, and last, Calvin Richardson. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you aren't already, we would appreciate if you followed our social media accounts. Links are below. To kick off the show, here's a track, Flavor by Garrett Lodge featuring John Gibson.
I like to sleep on my lap. Take yourself a little nap on me. I won't make a peep, even if my legs falling asleep. And I wanna take you out to breakfast, baby. I wanna take you on vacation, baby. I wanna treat you like a special lady. 'Cause something about your flavor makes me crazy. You're my blackberry pie. The more I get away from you, I always crave you. My favorite flavor, blackberry pie. No matter what I'm having, babe, I always craving you. My favorite flavor. And I love that you're different. My favorite flavor. And I think that you're perfect. Something about the way you taste, something about your face, something about the things you say. You make me feel away like candy, but better, baby. You got the flame I could handle, maybe. You ain't the same, you're a special lady. The flavor that makes me crazy, like blackberry pie. The more I get away from you, I always crave you. My favorite flavor, blackberry pie. No matter what I'm having, babe, I always craving you. My favorite flavor. And I love that you're different. My favorite flavor. And I think that you're perfect.
That was our very own Garrett Lodge featuring John Gibson with Flavor. Now, I'm happy to welcome Ari to the show.
This is Savannah.
Hi, this is Ari.
Hi, Ari. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the interview started. I apologize in advance. I'm a little sick right now, so my voice is kind of weird and I might cough.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So bad.
Okay. All right, so, Ari, I know you are from Toronto and you're living in LA now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what was that transition like?
Definitely challenging. You know, it's never easy uprooting, and I've been going back and forth, so I've definitely spent, some time in Toronto, some time in LA. Right now I'm in Toronto because I just had my show here last night, but LA is just amazing because there's so many people there who are looking to collaborate and so many creative people and who are super talented, and just by virtue of that population of people there, I'm just finding a lot more places that I can go work and write new music and, connect with like-minded artists, whereas in Toronto I just felt like the resources and people here that I had the chance to work with just weren't as numerous as in LA. Mm-hmm. But, socially it's hard because you have to make new friends. It's like getting in the sandbox again and being like, hey, do you like me? Want to be my friend? And getting, invited to do things on the weekend. That takes time, to find people you actually want to hang out with and just, find a new routine in your life. So that took some time to adjust, but I'm really happy that I did do that, because it's made a difference in my artistic project and my writing ability.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can totally relate. That's so true. But yeah, it's obviously a great place, for your career and, building connections and your professional work. So that's awesome. How long have you been making music?
How long? Oh, it's been a long time. I recorded my first song when I was 11. It was an Elvis Presley song. And, yeah, it's kind of cute. And I always just loved singing. You know, I found it very soothing for me. It's always been, like, before I even knew what healing meant, that's what it was to me as a kid. It just made me feel good, so I wanted to do it as much as possible. And then I was in my first girl band when I was 12, and then we toured a bit when I was like 14, I think 17 or 16, and so I kind of got a taste of the music industry at a young age, and I saw some dirty things, with being allowed to drink in a club when you're 15, and just like you get treated like an adult at a very young age, and it's very objectifying to be like, sexy, and it just I saw it in a different light when I was at that age. I wasn't prepared for it, and then kind of took some time away, and it wasn't until university where I was like, you know what, why am I avoiding this just because of that? Like, who knows if I'll even make it anyways. I better do what I love.
Oh my God, wow, that's so wild though. You've had like this insane journey so far. I mean, touring when you were 15, that's crazy. And then so you went off to college after that?
Well, of course I finished high school, but when the band dismembered, I don't even know if that's how you'd say it, disbanded. Dismembered sounds like something really dark and creepy. When we disbanded, I was just turned off from it, and I would think from about like 18 to 22 or so, I didn't really do much with music other than writing on my own for a creative outlet and singing, on my own. And I never gave it up. I was graduating from university as I majored in psychology, and I basically ended up in the music building, and that's when I knew I was just denying myself of my passion. And even though I have multiple interests and I love psychology, my true calling is music, and I've found a way to combine them with this record I'm working on because it's all for mental health awareness. So it's kind of funny how everything goes full circle in some sense.
Wow. No, yeah, you were like already skipping to my other questions with all of that, but wow, that's so cool. I was going to ask, when did that like trigger hit you when you were like, this is what I want to do? But I mean, I guess you kind of answered that. So then,
but it's crazy because it's been years. I've been making music since university, but I never positioned it as like mental health, pain into power. I never did that. It's only now that I kind of connected the two. So that's a recent thing because my last EP wasn't specifically for any cause or, to create awareness around anything. It was my first EP as Ari was really just discovering who I was as an artist. Mm-hmm. And now that I feel like I've found who I am, now I can go, okay, well, now what do I want to say? And now that's what I'm doing with my second EP.
Wow. I mean, so it's kind of like the path that you took, it kind of helped like round you to get to this point,
Totally. I think that's with everybody. It doesn't seem like it, especially when things are going bad or things are difficult. It's why is this happening or what's the meaning of this? But somehow I've seen in my life almost everything had some kind of cause and effect to something that was the right thing in the end, even in the moment. If it felt like, everything was falling apart, I think everything kind of is supposed to happen the way it is. And you can't just rely on fate, of course. You have to, make your reality. But I feel like you have to see everything as a purpose or else you can get swallowed by the dark stuff.
Definitely. Wow. So what inspired you to, go in that direction for your music? I guess after, taking courses and learning a lot about psychology, but, was that kind of it, or was there, something else?
Well, I've personally struggled with mental health my whole life, and it's been a really, just a part of my life and I feel like now people are more open to talk about it, and I'm really interested in being an advocate for mental health. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to be an outlet to show people that, look, you can go through something very difficult. I've had 2 mental health breakdowns in my life. When I was actually graduating university, I had to file for disability because I had such a bad sleep problem that led to mental health issues because I wasn't sleeping enough because of insomnia and a sleep disorder called sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't have, I wasn't functional because I was so delirious from being underslept that I had to drop out of school. And
wow.
I finally finished, and I went back and I completed, and I did really well. But that had never happened to me in my life. Like, I experienced anxiety when I was a little kid. Like, I think I can remember 8 years old, and I remember going to the hospital with stomach cramps just from being so nervous, but not knowing how to say, like, I'm just nervous, and that's why my stomach hurts this much. I wasn't, like, actually sick. So that's, like, I grew up not knowing, like, why I would feel sick and why I would feel so anxious and bite my nails. And, you know, like, and then it wasn't until high school I started experiencing depression. And I also have ADHD, and I've been, you know, like, I've had a mental health breakdown actually a year ago today. It's really weird timing. It's actually very trippy, or, like, just surreal for me that a year ago today I was not myself right now. And it's a whole story. It's a very long story, but I had it's post-traumatic stress situation, and when I went to get help from it, I was actually made worse, and I was misdiagnosed and wrongly medicated, and so for several months I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me so I can address the issue, and I was being medicated and treated for the wrong thing. And so that was really traumatic. And making this EP, which I titled Dis-Order, to separate the word into two, was to like show myself and everyone else that you don't have to be defined by a disorder. Disorder means disorganized order. If you separate the word into two, and you can find your order again. Like, it's like separating yourself from the disorder. It's something you go through. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you who you are. And if someone like me, who's just an ordinary person with a creative outlet, can find healing with music, I hope other people can also see that it's possible for them to get out of a dark hole and channel whatever their negative energy or, you know, pain is into power, whatever that means for them, whether it's karate or gymnastics or, you know, arts and crafts or music or journaling, you know, anything. I just want people to know you can find something and make it have meaning. So what you're going through isn't just for no reason. Give it a meaning in your life so you can be grateful that you have something, you know, from it rather than it taking from you or owning you. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. Like, I think that you know, utilizing your music and you're talking about these, like, this issue, especially, like, mental health is such a huge issue. And, like you said, recently it's something that's been brought to light when it's, you know, it's always been there. And I've talked to artists that write about, you know, social injustice and racial injustice. And, I mean, mental health is such a huge, you know, topic, and I think that's so cool that this is what you chose to write about and, you know, express yourself, and you're so open. Like, it's so inspiring, and I'm like, wow, this is like, you know, I mean, that's just insane, and I think that it's like, it's so cool that you're so relatable in that, you know, because that's what fans look for in an artist, and they want music.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no.
Well, like, I couldn't get behind anything that I couldn't speak for from my own experience. Like, I couldn't be, you know, a symbol of hope for mental health if I didn't have my own mental health issues. And it takes a lot of, time to figure out your path of healing and what your resources are. Like, now I know if I'm feeling anxious or this or that, what to do, what my 1, 2, 3 checklist is. And some of it's meditating, yoga, making sure I get enough sleep, making sure I'm eating healthy, spending time with good friends that lift my spirit, journaling, you know, all that stuff, burning sage on a bad day and, like, clearing the energy, whatever ritual or anything that makes you feel like you're cleansing and, like, not being stuck by anything. Like, and I really cannot put more emphasis on how important I feel it is to separate yourself from the disorder or emotion like anxiety and go, this is anxiety right now. This isn't me. This is just anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
This is high anxiety. How am I going to deal with you today? It's not I'm bad. I have anxiety. I should be embarrassed. I'm broken. It's not that. You know what I mean? And that's really, I think, an empowering way to look at it. And, I think it's really important. In Canada right now, it's the leading cause of death is suicide in Canada.
Wow.
And so something's wrong. And, like, I experienced terrible experiences getting help in the public health sector in Canada. Like, they are amazing for other health issues, but with mental health, we're greatly behind. And that's why I'm so happy we raised $1,000 last night for a Canadian Youth Mental Health Network called jack.org. They're absolutely fantastic. They're the biggest charity of the nature in Canada, and what they do is they train and empower youth, and they teach them how to identify signs of mental health struggle in themselves and their peers so they can be there for each other, and then they teach each other coping mechanisms. And then they train youth, like, say a 17-year-old in grade 11 or whatever, or, I know you say it differently in the States, but we call it grade 11 in Canada. They would go to different schools and say, hey, I have anxiety, and then they teach them the skills, and then it's like this contagion spreading this like okayness. You're not alone, everybody's going through it, and youth to youth is so powerful, and they're our future. I know it's cheesy to say, but it's true. Like, if our future, adults can actually have the skills that we should have learned in school, then like imagine how much healthier the world would be if we had these kind of skills.
No, totally. Wow, that's so cool. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad that our listeners get to hear and are aware, and to get to be a part of it as well. That's so cool.
Thank you.
I love that is like, a primary focus of your writing and your music. And so I want the interview is, of course, about you and about your music, about you as a person. But do you want to touch a little bit on your newest project?
Yeah, of course. So actually last night I screened Grace. It's a short film. So it's part of my Pain into Power campaign. So it's a two-parter. My EP, Dispatch Order, is coming out at the end of May, or I'm not sure exactly what date in May, but that's Mental Health Awareness Month, so I decided it's a good time. And I put out my first single, Cattle Call, which is a totally awesome rage track if you want to get out some like energy, and there's a screamo part, so if you want to scream along, it's kind of fun. I put that out on Halloween, and we're trying to get my short film, Grace, into film festivals so we can continue the Pain into Power campaign and dialogue into the future. And like right now, I'm just super focused on connecting with people as much as possible and getting the message out. And all I really want to do in the end of the day is inspire people to heal and connect with people who don't even realize that they might be sleepwalking and want to be more conscious and get in touch with themselves and connect, because we're all so consumed by social media and stuck in our phones, and I feel like we're not really encouraged to stop and look in the mirror and say, hey, how you doing, and I think I want to reach those people who need that. And I'm super excited. And at the same time, I'm writing a lot for other artists lately, so I'm going to have some singles coming out for some other artists, and that's exciting. I always love writing for other people too, because it gets me out of my own head and into someone else's, and then I have to find a way to create something beautiful and crafted from their heart into, a song.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you're extremely busy. You have a lot going on. That's so cool, though. Wow. I didn't know that you were putting out an independent film. That's so cool.
Thank you. It's 9 minutes, so it's not a feature, but we did our best with the budget I have to, produce something that I think is meaningful. But, we did a 9-minute short film. I think it's really powerful, so I'm excited to release it publicly. But for now, it's going to be private until we get it into a film festival circuit. God willing, we get into TIFF. That would be exciting.
That would be so cool. Wow. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I think everything will be great. We're going to be playing your newest track, Cattle Call, on the show, so our listeners get to hear a little bit of your stuff.
Awesome.
And it was great talking to you, Ari. I really appreciate you calling in.
Thank you so much for having me, and stay in touch.
All right.
And thanks for the support.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
You say that you wanna run, you gotta do what you do to get it done. You've been blowing up your gun, but I only wanna have a little fun. You bang your feet when you're running up and down the street. Don't hang with me, your dream keeping you busy. When you get this way, you forget me. Yeah, you forget me. Going all night, the world gon' fade, but a girl can't wait. I'm out of God's now, got no kingdom. to be played out. 'Cause you run till we ran out. Yeah, we run till we ran out. You say you gotta go this way. You've been grinding money on your plate. And I don't ever wanna stray, but I'm hanging on a thread about to break. You bang your feet when you're getting up and down concrete. Don't sing with me, your dream keeping you hungry. When you get this way, you forget me. Yeah, you forget me. Going on out, the world gon' fade, but a girl can't wait. I'm not a god's now. Got no king to be played out. Can't wait. I'm not a god's now. Got no king to be played out. 'Cause you run till we ran out. Yeah, we run till we ran out. I'm not a god's now. Got no king to be played out. 'Cause you run till we ran out. Yeah, we run till we ran out.
That was Cattle Call by Ari. We are so excited to see her continue with her music as well as her film. Next joining me is the talented Cipherella.
All right. Hi again, Cipherella. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I want to thank you again for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off the interview. So I'm sure our listeners would like to know how about when you first started getting into music, or when you first started making music.
I actually started making music. Okay, so there's two questions. So I got into music. I've always been into it when just ever since I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I started off in a blues band specifically for kids back in Alabama. So I think that's when I really got my feel for music, or actually being in music. Now, as far as creating music, I started creating music around 13, but I didn't take it seriously until around 3-4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
yeah, I'm sitting here thinking now, like, it's bringing back this thing, like, I don't know if you are familiar with Fruity Loops, but it had literally just come out, and this is like the year 2003, 4, and I just remember sitting at this big back computer, you know, the ones that had no color, and it was pretty much just and I'm just sitting here thinking about trying to produce beats on that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh my
I just
gosh!
had a moment.
Wow. Wait, oh my gosh, that's so wild. I'm sure it's so different from what it's like in music now and what it's like now.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So I know that you have, a really inspiring story, and I would love only if you feel comfortable to share a little bit about yourself and, how you got where you are today.
Oh, absolutely. One of my friends jokes every time I say something. She's like, "I'm gonna write a book about you."
Yeah.
So
I was
honestly,
kind of thinking the
yeah.
same thing when I was reading a little bit about you. I was like, how does she not have a book?
Yeah, she's just like
Food
any
for thought.
experience that it's possible you've had it. So I was like, yeah. But we'll think about that later. As far as my story, you know, here I'm in New York now, as you know. And I came from this very, very small town called, it's not very small, but it's small enough. It's called Tuscaloosa in Alabama. And just a synopsis of what brought me here, was the tornado. I lost everything in a tornado back in 2011. And for me, that pretty much was just an eye-opener, just experiencing the absolute loss of, to a certain extent, identity, just because everything I had ever known for the last 21 years of my life, I was minimized to what I could carry in my hands. And I had to walk about a mile back to the car just to carry what I had in my hands to take it to someone else's place. So for me, that just, one, it opened my eyes spiritually. I made a decision to just get in touch with the Creator. It goes by many names. And just thinking on that, it pretty much weighed on me that I enjoyed music. And in the back of my mind, I think it was something I always wanted to do, but because I was in such a small place, it wasn't really feasible, It wasn't like here in New York where it's not absurd for you to try to make a name for yourself through music. But, in Tuscaloosa, you're pretty much a plant worker or in the healthcare field, and just for me, none of those sat well with me. So I took a leap of faith. I had no idea where I was going to stay when I moved to New York. I actually didn't know anyone in New York. I think I had like $1,200 to my name.
Wow.
And it's just been a very interesting journey since then.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge change. That's a huge like a shift and like wow. That changes everything for you.
I'm telling you, and I want to share this just because I just find it so funny. I remember because you don't know, but we don't have like public. We probably do, but nobody takes public transportation in Tuscaloosa. So I was here, and I was just like, yeah, I got my Metro card, which took me forever to figure out how to use it. And then when I did figure out how to use it, I don't know what happened, but I guess I missed my train stop, and I got off on the train. And for a minute, I was freaking out because this was before, maps had the detailed directions. So when I got off the train, there were literally Jewish people. And I'm saying, like, the guys with the big hats and the curly hair, and all of the signs were in Hebrew. And I just knew that I had rode this train way too far, and I had no idea where I was. And so I was just freaking out, and I called my mom, and she was like, calm down, just get back on the train and go the opposite direction of what you just traveled. And I was like, okay.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that must have been an eye-opener for you.
That freaked me out so bad because I just knew that I had rode this train for way too long, and I had no idea where I was.
No,
but I was in Brooklyn now that I now know that I was in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure looking back now, you're like, wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
But so I know you enjoy writing, and that's one of your passions as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So,
okay. I want our listeners to know you, and to hear about your experience in music, and what you're doing now, and how you got here. So the ball is in your court. Don't feel pressured.
Okay. One moment. Let me mute this. So I do enjoy writing. I tell a lot of people, hats off to the people who can actually, as far as music, rapping goes, who can freestyle. I can freestyle, but I like writing just because for me, it's tangible, for one. It's something that I can look back on and I can say, this is what I created. And it's almost like a form of therapy. I mean, music in itself for me is therapy, but it's like, there are different processes to therapy. You don't just go to therapy one day and then you're healed. You have to take different steps. And for me, writing is that step. Sometimes I'll write and it'll turn into a song, or sometimes I'll write and it'll just turn into something that I forget about until years later, and I read it. I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is where I was at this point in my life, and I look back and I reflect to where I am now. So, yes, I do enjoy writing.
Wow. So, I mean, I know a little bit about you, but I want you to share with our listeners, what is your, main focus, or, what do you write about, your music? Or, what message do you want to send to the people listening?
Honestly, it's never about this is what I want to send to the people. Like I said, music for me is therapy, and so whatever I give them or whatever I share with them, it's just an experience that I want to share. It's never for a particular reason. Sometimes it happens to coincide with something, and so it may seem like I was coming across with a specific reason, but honestly, it's usually just how I'm feeling at that moment. Like, I'm releasing a single, Dum Dum. The video premieres tomorrow, but I wrote the track Dum Dum in 2014, and I just felt like I was in a place where I was ready to share that piece of me, because it's just also relevant these days. So again, when I decide to share with people, I don't want to ever be placed in a box. So I don't want to say that I specifically deliver messages. It's just, again, the writer in me will give you whatever message or whatever experience I'm feeling at that moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you brought up that track, because we are going to be playing that on the show. So our listeners so our listeners are going to hear Dum Dum. Do you want, I know the video is it's going to be released tomorrow?
Yes. It's going to be released tomorrow. Yeah, and it's going to be released via Afropunk's website, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad that they'll get, hear it on the show, and they can actually, see what's going on in the song. Do you want to talk a little bit about what Dum Dum's about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dum Dum is actually, and I probably say this about all my songs, so don't ignore me, but just don't quote me on it. So Dum Dum is probably one of my favorite songs, just because, why? Because it's fun. And, sometimes, even though I'm a quote-unquote conscious rapper, that's what people will say, this one for me is just more relaxed, but at the same time it's still touching on how I feel. It's like Dum Dum. It's just, I look around, I turn on the TV, and what do I see? People are talking about this celebrity or that celebrity, and who's having a baby, and who's divorcing who got butt shots, who got breast implants. I'm just thinking, who cares about this stuff? But obviously someone cares, because this is what we consider news. And for me, that's just that's dumb. It's really, really dumb. And so this song is just, it's just me venting again. It's just the hook itself is dum, 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 diggity, diggity, dum, dum. So I made it fun, but at the same time, it's pretty much just poking fun at what we consider news, or what a lot of people care about.
Yeah, so it's just a light play on, exactly what we care about socially, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's amazing to me. It's just amazing just how we have transgressed over the years.
Yeah, no, I mean, hearing you talk about, when you first started to make music on a huge monitor, comparing to what you are, how you're making music now, and what we're, what we use now, technology-wise, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's Dum Dum. I love Dum Dum. It's a very fun song.
Oh, well, cool. I mean, I'm glad we get to play it, and I'm glad our listeners get to hear some of your stuff. So we're excited. I mean, I'll take a look at the video. I'm really excited for you, and thank you so much for joining me on the show, and thanks for sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we'll follow up with an email, but I hope you listen, and good luck on the video tomorrow.
Awesome. Oh, I wanted to share one more thing with you. I don't know if you know, but another exciting tidbit of information I received is I'll actually be going back. I don't know if you know that I was on Sway, but I've actually been invited to participate in his Doomsday Cipher this year, so we're also gearing up for that. I'm just pretty excited about that.
Sweet. Wow, so you have things going on. That's super exciting.
A lot. Keep it busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on here. You've been an awesome interviewer.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for sharing your stuff with us. And, I mean, I like what you're doing, and I like everything. It's awesome.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Well, have a good day, and thank you so much again.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yo, true story. Everything I say, you type. Word death collision, catch my vision, hop my flight down. On cloud nine, there's the need for coming down because the people that surround me steadily astound me. How they all seem to set their own boundaries, then clown me for being me, then down me for being free. Asking questions, second guessing what I'm doing for myself. Don't do this, try something else. Man, I swear there's something else. In fact, I think they're all ruled by midgets, and I'll be Neo straight, kicking through the ditches. Close your eyes to be the smidget of the dark before the light. You know the pause before the fright, just like the thief up in the night. But I'm not stealing. I'm dealing facts and actualities to realities, casualties to casually. Talk about everything bullshit related, like who's dating who and celebrities, babies. Yo, I'm frustrated. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. These hoes be straight stupid and I be straight lucid. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. These hoes be straight stupid and I be straight lucid. These hoes is stupid. These hoes is dumb. These hoes is stupid. And I don't want none. You did Beyonce have blue ivy? Is Rihanna the Illuminati leader? Don't ask me how I feel, cause I don't give a fuck about either. Cause either scenario puts me in your stereo. So when you spark up conversation, I'm just thinking, here we go again. Talking about the latest trend. What's in your new man friend that you slept with on the first night? Then the next night, he was out the sight, and now I hear you are a dyke. Well, alright, I'ma keep it spinning, cause it ain't my business. I'm just in there trying to win it while you just keep on losing. Say you on your grind, it's your shine time. Look to me, you're losing. Dude, who you fooling with your jeans off your ass? Flashing mad cash, talking mad trash like you got it like that. Sleeping on your mama's couch, calling it the crash pad. So sad, how far you been on getting selling dime bags? Hashtag frontin'. He's frontin'. Yo, he's frontin'. What you say, what you say, what you say? Yo, dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. These hoes be straight stupid and I be straight lucid. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. Dum 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 diggity diggity dum dum. These hoes be straight stupid and I be straight lucid. These hoes is stupid. Nah, nah, nah. These hoes is stupid. Nah, nah, nah. These hoes is stupid. Nah, nah, nah. These hoes is stupid. Break it down, go.
That track was called Dum Dum by Cipherella. Make sure to check out the new video as well. And lastly, I'm happy to talk to blues artist Calvin Richardson.
All right. Hi, Calvin. Again, I'm Savannah. I'm the host of the show. I apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather, so my voice is a little weird.
It's no problem.
But how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for joining me on the show. We are really happy that you're able to talk. So where are you located right now?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. What is it like there right now?
Oh, man, it's real nice outside. It's probably about 70-something degrees, nice and sunny.
I mean, I'm in LA, so it's 70 degrees too, but I've never been outside of California, so I wanted to know. That's awesome. But, all right, I'm going to kickstart the interview, and so our listeners would love to know, what inspires your music?
I mean, what inspires me the most is, just things that I've been through and things that people close to me have shared with me, over the years or in time, what I'm saying? Just going through different things, what I'm saying? I write about, real life situations that, but most people can benefit from.
Mm-hmm. So definitely like relatable and personable.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So I know you've been making music for some years. If so, how has it changed since, you started?
Well, I mean, things have changed with music all the time. I remember, when R&B was more in the forefront, but then hip hop came along and it kind of shifted a little bit, and now I think it's still that way, and so it's more most of the music that's out right now is more hip hop driven, more definitely in that area. It's not real straight up R&B or real soul music, and it definitely has more of a hip hop influence than it used to. You know what I mean? Everything, even the instrumentation of the music and everything like that right there, it changed from being live instrumentation to more program now. And, it's definitely, one of the biggest changes that has happened since I got in the business. Yeah.
No, that's so true. It's definitely, predominantly hip-hop right now.
Right.
And it's also, like, it's crazy from, what hip-hop used to be to what we hear now. Right. It's completely changed. So I'm sure for you, that's, like, it's wild.
Yeah.
So I know you have a tour coming up. Where are you going to be playing?
We'll be playing Chicago, Detroit, North Carolina, Atlanta, Houston, Texas. Let me see. I think D.C., Virginia. Just to name a few. I'm sure that there's quite a few that I'm leaving out.
Yeah, I bet.
New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans. I know we'll be playing New Orleans, but that's we'll be making our round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you when you're just you put out something new and you're going to go tour, do you decide where you guys are going to play?
No, I don't really make that decision.
Okay.
Because we basically the dates get sold to promoters. I have an agent, and they put those dates out there. They'll put and they'll let the promoters know that that we're going, like if we're going on a tour, that we'll be coming to certain areas and we're looking in certain areas, and they'll buy the dates, and that's how it goes.
Okay. So I know this isn't your first tour. So what do you love about touring or being on the road, and what do you not enjoy so much?
Well, what I enjoy the most about it is being able to get out and perform live, and in the different areas, and grow the fan base and go out there and perform the songs that I have done and the new stuff that I may have that people not necessarily all the way familiar with, and introduce them to the music. Because live performance, that's when you get the opportunity for, to have that interaction between the fans. Because it's one thing to be in the studio recording and making music, and, you don't necessarily have that connection between, myself and the people. But, just being able to make that connection and, just get out there with the live musicians and, you know, just expressing myself. It's a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's when an artist truly comes to life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, I mean, the thing that I dislike about being on tour, I can't really think of anything other than, you know, I have a 4-year-old, you know what I'm saying, just being away from him for extended periods of time, you know, sometimes is, you know, that kind of gets, you know, that's probably about the worst part of it. But, you know what I'm saying, I spend as much time with him when I can when I'm home, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Does he, do you ever play your music?
Well, he's definitely a singer. You know, he sings, you know, everything, and he's making up songs. He's making up his own little songs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. You know, I think he definitely is gonna. Hopefully, he'll do something with it. You know. Yeah. In time to come.
That's so cool. I mean, he has you to look up to, so that's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I know you came out with your newest project, All or Nothing. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about it?
Well, All or Nothing, I think it was my 7th studio album that I put out, and you know, I kind of stayed true to form, the way that I've always done. You know, as far as, you know, we got live musicians to come in, and this particular album I worked with Willie Clayton. He's an older blues singer, you know what I mean? Pretty established, had, you know, a lot of success in the arena, and I worked with him a lot as far as our paths crossed on a lot of different shows, and you know, we came together. He's a very good writer, so we wrote a lot of the stuff together and produced it together. So that was one of the things, a highlight for me, just be able to work with somebody that was, you know, that had such history that he does. And but yeah, I mean, it's basically, you know, this album right here is more. I have quite a few songs that's got a little more tempo than I usually would do. Yeah, but you know, everybody know that I'm pretty much, I focus on, you know, my ballads and, you know, singing about relationships and stuff like that, and which this one didn't vary too much from the subject matters of the song that I normally do. But yeah, it's just a really good feeling album. You know, it's got a real good feel to it, and you know, it's got, like I said, 11 songs on it, and you know, I'm just proud of what we came up with.
Nice. How long were you guys working on this project?
It actually didn't take that long for us. This particular album, we did it in, I think it was like 2 months. We got the whole album start to finish. We were done. Yeah.
I mean, you had 6 other studio albums, so I'm sure this one was probably a breeze for you.
This one was. You know, each one gets a little easier, you know, when it comes down to the mechanics of it and the technicalities of it. Like, you know, we know how to get in and out and be pretty efficient when it comes to time. But, you know, sometimes, you know, it comes down to the creativity of it all. You know, sometimes it takes a little longer for certain things to come together than others. But this particular one, like I said, it was real easy.
Wow, nice. So I know you said that you know, this one was like kind of a collaboration in the writing process.
Right.
Do you, like, with writing and performing, like, would you say like performing would come first nature in regards to writing, or like vice versa?
I mean, writing and performing, I mean, I think they're two separate things. And, you know, they're two totally different type of things. And writing is, you know, it's more, you know, you have to be a little more creative and, you know, it takes a little more thought than the performing side of it, because the performing, you're performing what has already been written, you know. So the writing part is definitely a little more intricate. But it's, I mean, you know, I wouldn't, one to me is no harder than the other, but, you know, like I said, they're two totally different animals, so to speak.
Totally. No, I mean, artistry is so complex, you know, and like, yeah, like you said, like writing and, you know, like performing in front of a crowd, they're so different, but you have to do, you know, those are key components of your career. So you kind of have to master both. But
Absolutely.
That's cool. So, Calvin, we are going to be playing one of your tracks on the show, and it can be from All or Nothing if you want, just because, you know, that's what your newest stuff now. Do you have any preferences?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're looking to do another single that'll be coming out at the top of the year. So, I mean, I'd love to be able to have you guys play that.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, it's man, I just had I just went blank for a second, but yeah, the name of the song is "Can't Let Go."
Okay, cool. Can't Let Go. Awesome. And so we will be playing that. Do you want to talk a little bit about Can't Let Go? Just give us a little preview.
Yeah, Can't Let Go, you know, it's for me, it's the epitome of a love song. Like, you know, when you have someone that, you know, comes into your life and, you know, you want them to be in your life forever, and, you know, just the thought of them not being there, you know what I'm saying, it really, you know, can shake you to your core. And so, you know what I'm saying, when you find love, or real love, you know, it's something that you don't even want to have a thought of it not being in your life, having to walk away from it or let it go. So basically that's what this song is about. I wrote the song, this particular song right here. I started working on the album before I even started working on All or Nothing. I was going to do an acoustic album. Every song on it is just going to be straight up acoustic. And this was the first song that I wrote with my guitar. And, you know, I think it's probably it is the only song that I used on this album that I was going to use for my acoustic album. So you get a chance to see where creatively in my mind that I was at that particular time, musically.
Cool. Sweet. Well, I hope you still put out the acoustic album. That'd be really cool.
Oh, that's definitely going to happen.
Okay, cool. Well, we have that to look forward to then.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, we will be featuring Can't Let Go on the show. And that's pretty much it for the interview. Calvin, thanks so much for talking to me and joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Well, have a great day. Thank you again.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, bye.
In 1 million years, I never thought I'd meet someone that's perfect. I never thought that someone can make my mind go around in circles. I never thought there was a beach with jet black sand, Jersey. Like my legs, I can't walk around without you. Like my heart, the rhythm's bound to change without you. The way it beats, tapping on my mind when I think about you, girl. Holding on, I can't let go of you. Oh yeah, said I heard that it never really rains in Arizona. That's what I heard, and it came from the mouth of the one that I'm all in love with, girl. Like the words of a preacher to the ears of a deacon. Yeah, I don't see the same when you're sleeping. I'm so in love. Guess I'm going to Arizona next. I can't walk around without you. Yeah, without you. Like my heart, the rhythm's bound to change without you. The way it beats, tapping on my mind when I think about you, girl. Holding on, I can't let go of you. Now if I had to choose between money and you, girl, give me sunshine and rain, pleasure and pain. Oh, I'd rather be holding your body. I can't walk without you, girl, now, baby, yeah. Like my heart, you like my heart. The rhythm's gonna change, girl. The way it beats, tapping on my mind when I think about you, girl. Holding on, I can't let go of you. Holding on, I can't let go of you. Holding on, I can't let go of you.
That last track was Can't Let Go by Calvin Richardson. We wish him all the luck on his upcoming tour for his latest project, All or Nothing. And we are wrapping things up here at Urban Influencer Radio. Please continue to follow us on social media, and if you aren't, the links are below. Thanks so much for listening, people. I'm your host, Savannah, and that is our show. Happy holidays!